Yo, and how's it going, everybody? It is Skullzi here, and today I want to talk about something huge regarding Starfield, but this is nothing new. Instead, I want to kind of round up all of the statements from Bethesda regarding Starfield that seem to have a universal theme to them, and this theme is very exciting because anytime any Bethesda employee has ever kind of like tried to talk about Starfield but not talked about Starfield at the same time, which is that usual Bethesda MO, they always seem to still somehow have an overall theme no matter what they say, even if they don't say anything at all. And yes, even though in this video we're going to be going over stuff that's already been known about for the most part for a while now, I feel with 2021 literally upon us now. It's already February. Wow, 2021 is going by fast. What is happening? But I guess it's bringing us closer to Starfield because the majority of the Bethesda community, including myself, believes Starfield will come out in November of 2021, which is another reason why I want to break all this down in today's video. And there is something low-key that has kind of gone unnoticed for a while, except for people who are subscribed and watch every video of Camelworks, because apparently some mysterious stranger, some Bethesda developer or Bethesda employee or somebody told Camelworks something back at E3 2018 that is just pretty huge and usually kind of goes against the overall way that Bethesda tries to talk about their games. And in fact, when I mentioned that thing earlier about there being an overall theme, even when Bethesda doesn't try to talk about Starfield, all their statements have the same theme. That theme in itself still kind of separates itself from how Bethesda usually talks about their games, because Bethesda doesn't go the CD Projekt Red route, and I don't mean just in terms of not showing us a trailer every single day like CD Projekt Red did for Cyberpunk 2077, but Bethesda doesn't try to talk their games up saying they're going to be the next hugest thing for RPGs ever. They just talk about their systems, they talk about some other stuff, and they don't try to tell you this will be the best thing that ever happened. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I've been listening to Bethesda stuff for a while, and I don't ever remember them bloating so much, but like I've been saying, they kind of have been doing that with Starfield even as far back as E3 2018, and I'm going to show you some clips in this video, including a clip from one of Camelworks' video, and I will put a link down in the description below to Camelworks' video, which was uploaded back in E3 2018 and is titled Starfield, the biggest, most epic science fiction thing you could possibly imagine, I believe, and he uploaded this video in June of 2018, so it was right around after when Starfield was officially announced. So not only am I going to show you the statement that Camelworks got himself, secretly I guess from a Bethesda employee, but also he put together 4 or 5 short clips of just Bethesda mentioning Starfield, and all these clips kind of highlight the theme I want to portray to you in this video, and his video kind of went along the same lines that I'm going to be doing today. However, it's 2021, 3 years later, and I feel like now is a great time to kind of revisit just how huge this game could possibly be. And like I said, if you want to watch the original source for some of these clips, Camelworks put this together himself. I don't think he'll mind me using these clips from his video as long as I give you guys a shout out, because after all, he's taken stuff from my videos before without hitting me up or anything. But that doesn't matter. I mean, all these clips exist out there anyway. I just want to give him props for organizing these clips, and of course the source for this mysterious Bethesda statement is directly from him in this video as well. But the main overall theme is that Bethesda seems to think, or Bethesda is kind of portraying Starfield as being this huge, gigantic, amazing, and ambitious thing. And I don't remember Pete Hines and people ever saying that their previous games like Skyrim or Fallout 4 or Fallout 76 were extremely ambitious or anything. They've talked their games up, sure, definitely, because what company wouldn't when they're trying to advertise their stuff, but the wording they're using for Starfield, especially when they're trying to not talk about it, is pretty crazy. It's pretty high praise, and they all seem very excited. And according to Camelworks, he got a statement from a Bethesda employee that he can't name, because obviously why would he name them? He wouldn't want to out this person if they're telling him something. And I do believe Camelworks in this regard, because he does have a good reputation, and I doubt he would just make up some statement and ruin part of his reputation just to say some kind of low-key random statement. But I'll go ahead and play you this short clip real quick from his video that I linked down in the description below, so that way he can tell you in his own words what he was told by mysterious stranger Bethesda person.
Now, something that I can't show you is while I was at E3, I spoke to another staff member of Bethesda, and naturally we got onto the topic of Starfield, and they said this. Oh man, I wish I could tell you more, but Starfield is the biggest leap in gaming ever.
Battlestar Galactica, Space Marines, Aliens.
The biggest leap in gaming ever? Really? Really? Starfield is supposed to be the biggest leap in gaming ever? Bigger than like when games went from 2D to 3D? Bigger than like when games went from 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit? Bigger than when games like actually got really good artificial intelligence, or when open world dynamics were solidified in gaming? Bigger than when MMORPGs first became a thing? Bigger than like anything in gaming? Really? Bigger than Fortnite? Bigger than anything? Bigger than anything in gaming ever? I'm gonna keep saying this to hammer my point. Do you get what I'm saying? That's insane. What kind of statement is that? And normally, if any other YouTuber or insider or anyone said this, I would kind of think it was clickbait and that they were just trying to get some easy clicky click clicks. Almost said a word that began with a D that would have got me to demonetize there. But either way, like, I trust Camelworks here is my point, and I don't know why you would just make this up. And that's crazy. He said that the employee had like the 1,000-yard stare, like they saw some amazing things or maybe some scary things. Maybe Starfield is some crazy stuff that will just like crawl out of your TV like the Ring Girl and make you buy Skyrim. But no, I'm just being stupid. It seems like Starfield is going to be extremely huge, and if this employee is not being an idiot and is telling the truth here and not over embellishing, it's going to be a huge leap in gaming, if not the biggest leap in gaming ever. And like I said, Camelworks also organized a small clip list showing you all the other just like things that Bethesda low-key kind of said about Starfield, even going way back to E3 2018, and this is back when they weren't saying anything about Starfield at all, which I guess they still aren't. But the point is, even when Bethesda doesn't talk about Starfield, they still kind of make it seem like it's hugely ambitious. And here, see for yourself.
So here are the clips, and if you want to watch the full interviews of any of these, I will link them down in the description.
Will it be weird to say the word Starfield in front of people?
What'd you just say? Just even hear you say it is weird. Right. Starfield, the biggest, most epic science fiction thing you could possibly imagine. It's looking awesome. So we're really confident, like, this is a game we're definitely doing.
Because it's an incredibly ambitious project. But that game is crazy. Like, it's ambitious and insane and awesome in all of the best possible Bethesda Game Studios ways.
So what does all this mean? Why is the hype consuming me? It means that this game Bethesda has been secret about, they've been secret about for a reason, and I don't think it's just because it's the usual Bethesda MO to not talk about your game until like the month it comes out. I think it's because Starfield is something huge, and maybe I have to be a realist here and say that that Bethesda employee that was talking to Camelworks was probably over embellishing a little bit. It's probably a huge step up for Bethesda and probably will push RPGs forward and maybe even gaming forward a little bit, but to call it the biggest leap in gaming ever is kind of crazy in my opinion, and I think that might just be over embellished a bit. But like I said, Starfield isn't out yet, so maybe it is the biggest leap. But clearly, the tone, even when Bethesda is being silent about this game, is how ambitious and huge it is. And it's even Todd Howard himself has said it's like the biggest, most epic science fiction thing you can ever imagine. And again, here I am with comparisons. Biggest, most epic science fiction thing ever? Bigger than Mass Effect? Bigger than Star Wars? Are you serious? The biggest, most epic science fiction thing ever? That's intense, and I'm not doubting that's possible. I'm not saying that Todd Howard is doing the 16 times the snake oil kind of thing, but I'm just saying, like, this is nuts. I've never seen Bethesda say all this kind of stuff, especially when they're like kind of looking around and like shadily checking out, like they're like, oh, Danny O'Dwyer, wait for a second, there are the vans outside. Danny boy! No, they're not, Danny! It's gonna be the biggest game ever! You should be excited and buy the game, Danny! To say the hype is assuming direct control, at least for me personally, would be an understatement. And the reason I'm doing this video today, even though clearly Camelworks kinda did this video already in 2018, is because it's 3 years later and I have not seen anyone really mention, or at least not nearly as many people mention, the statement he received from this Bethesda employee at E3 2018, which is huge. And then when you take that statement and compare it with all the other like tiny bits of little statements we've received from Bethesda over the years regarding Starfield, I say it's safe to say, not only is this going to probably be the biggest single-player RPG from Bethesda ever, and at the same time still be that Bethesda game style that we know and love, but it might even be one of the biggest RPGs in gaming. And we could speculate until Starfield becomes a real-life, like, literal reality about, like, what this could mean and how this could be the biggest game ever, but I'll leave that speculation for future videos, because I kind of wanted to just stick to the main actual statements and concrete stuff. But that's basically everything I wanted to talk about. If you enjoy the content, if you're hyped for Starfield, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest Bethesda news. And if you want to help grow the channel and the community, you can share the content, share the video, share the channel, because YouTube channels only really ever grow if the subscriber base actually shares the content, and especially smaller channels like mine, which are still small in the eyes of the algorithm really doesn't help us out too much, so we grow kind of slow, small channels. But since I've been asking you all to share the content, the channel's been growing a lot quicker, so thank you very much. Huge appreciation, and keep doing what you're doing. And speaking of appreciation, huge shout out to these amazing people for going above and beyond to bring you content like this. If you want to get a permanent future video shout out, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Starfield is the biggest, most epic science fiction thing gaming leap in gaming ever that you can possibly ever imagine ever. Gaming leap. Ambitious.
It just works.